Here we are, I'm Kyle O'Reilly and this is the Here We Are show. Today we are very lucky to have two guests. One being Mr. Shuriken himself, Jason Vorster, and pro MMA fighter, Rory O'Keefe. On today's show, we'll be taking a dive into Shuriken's appearance on UFC Fight Pass, Rory's pro debut, and how many 10-year-olds Jason can beat up. Fellas, thank you very much for joining us. Now's the opportunity to do a bit of promo.
Yeah, man. Well, as you know, on the 20th of April, Event Finder Stadium, SFS 17, which is going to be a cracker. And then next one, 27th of July, Event Finder, 7th of December. So yeah, man, keep on supporting, keep on watching.
Come watch me bang it out, 20th of April on SFS 17.
Fellas, we're about 3 weeks out now from Shuriken Fight Series 17. Massive, massive, massive event. And for the first time ever on UFC Fight Pass. How'd that come about?
Oh, a bit of work, a bit of hard work, a bit of, yeah, it's taken about 3 years and yeah, we eventually got on. I think it's a good promotion, so they're looking to expand into New Zealand. They want to cover all their bases in this region. They've got a lot of the regions, America and China and all over, and Australia covered, and they want to get something to New Zealand. So yeah, lucky for us.
And why not start with New Zealand's premier MMA promotion, Shuriken?
Yeah.
The card that you've put together, we were talking about it off camera, the card that you've put together is phenomenal. The undercard, which is going to be on CSN, and then the main card, but the undercard, you've got some cracking fights on there. What are the highlights for you?
Oh, the undercard is, it's actually very good. I mean, there's a few up and coming fighters, you know, you got the Jaden Browns and Nixon Suddens, and you got Jaden O'Day and Nixon Suddens and Jaden Brown and Daniel Bull, all these young guys coming up through the ranks, and I think they're going to be the next generation of Kiwi fighters. They're in their teens. So and then I'm also looking forward to Ethan Brockett and Caden Skipper and Jack Gibson and Jack Cameron, and especially Yes and Tama. Tama Kiwili. That's been on the cards for a while. I mean, there's a lot of good amateur fights on the prelims, so I'm excited.
The Ethan Brockett fight intrigues me a lot because Caden Skipper's an animal, and Ethan Brockett is such a character, ain't he? I think it was at the last Shuriken he started singing when he was doing like his post-fight interview, and he's started doing like commentary and MCing as well. So I'm keen to see what kind of a show he puts on.
He doesn't just talk, but he can fight as well.
Well, exactly, but he's up against like Skipper's a beast.
So that's gonna be one to watch, eh? And the main card is, as you know, I mean the pro card is good. We got 8 of the best pro fighters we've seen, man. So yeah. And
then we've got someone making their pro debut on that main card. And so for you, I guess you've been on Shuriken before. You're used to like the hype and the lights at Shuriken Fight Series, but you're now making your pro debut, so you're taking that step up, and now it's also going to be on, and you're the opening fight for UFC Fight Pass. How are you prepping for that, and how does that how does your mind get used to that difference?
That's the advantage, I guess. I always fight on Shuriken Fight Series, so I'm quite comfortable. And that's why my last fight, I really need to get outside of the comfort zone and go to Australia and just fight on a different promotion. But SFS is like, that's my home. I've literally grown up playing basketball since I was 4 years old in that arena. So even being in the changing rooms, the whole walkout, like that's my arena. So and I look at it's on the shore. I've grown up on the shore. So I think that's the place I need to make my pro debut and to be the first like fight on UFC Fight Pass is it's insane. It's an insane opportunity, and I'm grateful for Jay and the whole promotion for letting me have it.
And that is and like I mean, that's part of your job, ain't it, Jason? Is sort of making sure that you can boost fighters, not just your own fighters, but put up-and-coming fighters in the limelight, and you're doing that. Because I think the majority of, like you said, they're all pro fights on the main card, but the majority of them, they're quite far into their pro career. But you're giving Rory this opportunity
Yeah, you know, being a promoter, it's not just about looking after your own guys. You kind of look after everyone. And I do, and I want to. I mean, Prashant has got his pro debut.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Out of 8 fights, I think there's 3. And so is Zach Bennett,
Yeah.
which is going to be, you know, he's one of our top amateurs in the country, and has been, always has been, and he's great. He's highly skilled, and he's making his pro debut. So, yeah, it's about giving fighters opportunity as well, and that's the whole thing about it, you know, about New Zealand and about MMA. It's not just about doing a promotion and trying to make a bit of money, and it's about building up the sport, and you want longevity in whatever you do. I think just working with the gyms and working with the coaches, and they're all doing a great job. All the coaches are running their gyms well, and they support me. So yeah, I think that's the way to go. Having good relationships with all the gyms and the coaches.
And it helps with the matchmaking.
Yeah, of course it helps with the matchmaking. Yeah.
For a normal card, for a normal event, I guess the matchmaking is not the easiest thing to do. But then when it comes to this, where you're put in New Zealand, or you're representing the New Zealand fight community on UFC Fight Pass, I guess there's like added pressure in the matchmaking. Yeah,
there is. You know, lucky touch wood. I've been pretty safe with the matchmaking. There's nothing worse than mismatches. You know, you can see it. Any half-assed fighter or promoter can see a mismatch from a mile away. You know, the crowd doesn't always see it, but you know, there's been a few shows and. They shouldn't be fighting they shouldn't be fighting in whoever they're fighting. So, you know, there's nothing better than watching 2 guys go at least one round, 5 minutes, or, you know, fight for 5 minutes, not just take 2 punches and the fight's finished. And people want to see that. And I think the UFC wants to see that as well. They don't want to see mismatches.
No.
They don't just want to see guys jump in and just mismatch just because you found some guys. You know, and I think all our fights on the card, I mean, they're going to be some good fights, man. If you look at the card on a whole. There's no easy fights. The guys from my gym, they don't have any easy fights. His guy is a solid fighter, fighting out of Sekirani Baba.
That's what I was going to ask.
And City Kickboxing.
Oh, so he's based out of City Kickboxing.
He's in Tahiti as well. He hops backwards and forwards.
Okay.
And same as Logan's guy, strong guy from Australia. And Brad Ramsey fighting the Kalmayochi. He's good, man. You know, the guys don't get easy fights. There's no easy fights on the promotion as such. So,
how come Logan's jumping back in? It's been a couple of years since.
Yeah, you know,
he's fought.
He's been looking after his wife, and she's been doing all the fighting for him. and he's got a young daughter as well, and he's really helping me out with the gym. You know, he's helping me run the gym and running our boxing programs and kickboxing programs. So you know, there's not that much time to train.
Has your training changed now that you're fighting pro?
Yeah,
what difference?
Yeah, definitely. So more elbows, obviously. Like I haven't been one to be able to throw elbows in fights, like knees to the head, and then obviously which rounds change from 3 minutes to 5 minutes. So a lot of the stuff I would do, obviously sparring, like the cardio stuff I do, I make it a bit longer, and just more volume as well. Like I feel like I'm in a bit of a limbo coming from my last fight because I took like a week off, but I'm still in the same sort of shape. So I'm just trying to kind of hold that shape until the fight, so like that's a bit weird, but I feel like I'm ready to go.
What about weight cutting?
Yeah, my weight,
you're pretty much bang on.
I got Joel Armstrong, who's the MMA coach. He does all my macros, and I'm pretty disciplined. Like, I didn't get putting on any weight like after the last fight, so ready to go. I could make weight next week, so yeah, I'm ready to go.
And so you're fighting at flyweight, and you've decided that's it now, flyweight, because we would discuss it again off camera. We were having a bit of a chat, and you said that the bantamweights and obviously featherweights as well, the size difference between you and them is just.
I just felt like in all my bantamweight fights, I was always undersized. I mean, I was able to be still successful because of my speed and my agility and my movement, but when I get hit by those bantamweights, it feels a lot different when I got hit at flyweight in my last fight. So and I've been told by everyone I've needed to go down. It's just in New Zealand there wasn't really any flyweights when I was coming up. I think there's a few coming up on the show now, but there was no one ready to fight at flyweight. So
is there anyone that's caught your eye? Anyone that you're sort of looking at for the future? That
not really, not to be honest. I'm just focused on Keone because I know he's a tough fighter, man. I can't overlook him at all. But as soon as I get past him, we'll be on to the next, and I'm not really worried who it is.
Fair enough. What about like future UFC?
Oh, UFC?
Is there anyone in the because the flyweight division, I think, obviously we had Demetrius Johnson, who just ran it for 11 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming was probably quite a sort of inspirational figure for you because he's just a phenomenal fighter. But flyweights don't really get the praise they deserve.
Yeah, 100%. Well, they were going to get rid of the division like a few years ago, and then when I was a younger kid, I was like, oh, fuck.
What am I going to do?
What am I going to do? But yeah, you've got the likes of like Kai, obviously he's from New Zealand, who I look up to as well, and he's an extremely good fighter. Muhammad Mokaev is a guy I've looked up to.
Yeah.
And that's one of the fights that like that's at the top of the mountain. Like he's probably going to get a title shot soon, and I look up to him just because of his work ethic as well. I try to base myself around him. He's just non-stop. He's just training, just all the time. So that's probably my dream fight.
Yeah.
Mokaev,
that's a cracker, to be fair.
Yeah.
What about Shuriken Fight Series, Jay, and the future of Shuriken? Because now that I guess UFC Fight Pass is seen as like peak promotion material. Where do you go from here? What can you do now to sort of expand or elevate Shuriken Fight Series?
Oh, I think it's a bit premature, that question. We've got to get through the first show first.
Yeah.
And I think my wife did say to me the other day, she says, this show won't be your test. She said it'll be the next one, you know? And I mean, this show is literally, it's almost sold out. The tables are sold out. The tickets are almost, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We've sold 80 tables. I've stopped selling tables 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a sellout event. But I think the proof will be in the next show as well, you know. And I just, I'm with the UFC for a good couple of years, you know, and I just want to just keep on doing what we're doing, you know. We're on a good promotion. Hopefully, just get more fighters on board. Hopefully, get them more experience. Hopefully, be able to pay them a bit better so they can make a living out of it a bit better.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. I just try to do all that. You know, I'm very mindful. Being a fighter myself, it's hard, man. It's hard paying for fees or buying protein powder and doing all your stuff that you do, and you know. So, you know, hopefully we can just build the fighters up more of a brand, you know, each fighter, and so they can make a bit more money. You know, I try to help them with obviously purses and tickets and selling tables and everything and give them a cut of all that. But, you know, that's the goal, is to look after the fighters, man. The fighters look after your show. You know, anybody can put a show on.
Yeah.
Anybody can put a show on. It's just, you know, getting the fighters and having good fights at the show. That makes the show.
Would you potentially hold them a bit more regularly? I know, because how many do you do a year now? 4?
Well, just this year we're doing 3.
Yeah.
But my contract states I'll be doing 4 shows a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already got the dates for next year. March, June, September, December, yeah.
Because UFC, they hold events. I mean, obviously, UFC's the UFC, infinite money behind it, but they hold events every week.
Yeah.
Is there, not for weekly Shuriken events, but is there potential for there to be more regular events?
No, I'll stick with 4. I'd rather have, that's why I just said I'd rather have 3 good shows this year as a start, and then next year 4 good shows. And we also do a lot of stuff at the gym and in-house tournaments, and my gym supports a lot of the other gyms.
Yeah.
We're always fighting on the other shows. You know, you've got to give back to the other shows and build up their promotions and build up the smaller shows as well, and grassroots shows. So, you know, you can't just expect everyone to support you and you don't support anyone else.
You don't want to monopolize it.
No, I can't, and I don't, and we don't, you know. So I like to just let our fighters fight on other promotions as well, you know, which is good.
You've built up a real good relationship with other gyms and other promoters and people within the scene. How did that come? Like, I know you were a fighter. You've been into, I think, what was it, Kyokushin karate you did for a bit?
Oh, when I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, when you were young. How did the Jason Vorster become the Jason Vorster? Like, how did you become Mr. Shuriken?
My dad, My dad started when I was a baby. Yeah, so my grandfather was a champion fighter, so was my father, and, you know, just...
In South Africa?
Yeah. So I just kind of followed in the footsteps. I was brought up in a gym, in the dojo.
Yeah.
So, and then when I got to New Zealand, started the promotion or started running Shuriken. It's kind of all that I ever knew, and this is taken on from there. I think it's just about like I said, matching the fighters properly. As soon as you mismatch fighters, coaches won't give you their fighters again if their fighters get beaten up or mismatched. So, and also respect. I'm good friends with Eugene and Steve Oliver and Hamish and Matt Toe and all the guys, and mutual respect for everyone, and that I think if you like that with everyone, you support each other, and you all have a common goal and a common interest. We're all just trying to run our gym, make a living running the gym, and trying to build up MMA and keep it growing in New Zealand.
Why MMA? Why did you land on MMA?
I didn't. I come from a karate background, then a kickboxing background, then a boxing background. So this MMA just started, and I just had a few MMA fights. And I think it's just because it's so mainstream at the moment. Yeah. Everyone's kind of doing it. You can do kickboxing, and fight in Glory and fight in your top promotions. But I don't think you can do as well as doing MMA. You can't go as far maybe or make as more money. And I think, to be honest with you, MMA is a lot more exciting, man. Just those 4-ounce gloves changes everything. Last year we had like 3 knockouts in the 5th round. Usman and even Izzy and even Glover and the title fights. It changes. The belts change so often, and it's crazy. It's so exciting to watch MMA.
How did you land on MMA?
I was a 17-year-old kid who didn't really know what he was doing with his life at school, and I just had a couple of mates that did train down at Shuriken, and Shuriken was literally at that point just down the road from Westlake, where I went to high school, and was always into sports, loved like rugby, athletics, basketball, but never was like the highest peak of any of them. And I didn't really like team sports just because for some reason I just never clicked with it. So
you have to rely on other people.
Have to rely on other people, so just ended up coming down once, and then never looked back. Been training every day since. Met Jay, met obviously Ollie, who was my long-term training partner. Met all the guys, Logan, and just I fell in love.
There is a real family environment around Shuriken. I did the 10-week challenge last year, and it really took me aback, but just I was quite shocked at how sort of friendly and inviting, because gyms for outsiders are quite intimidating places.
Daunting,
And going to a new place is, like you said, daunting. But you feel so welcome at Shuriken. And I guess that sort of helps you in your career and being able to sort of go there every day and spend your time with these people. And how have you, Jason, instilled that sort of atmosphere at Shuriken MMA?
Oh, I'm pretty friendly to everyone, and like you said, it's daunting walking into a gym in the first time and you're seeing some guy smashing the bag, and it's like, So we are pretty welcoming to any new people that come into the gym, and I just think the culture is good, The culture is good, and you don't forget, what do all the fighters do for a living?
Fight.
No, they don't fight for a living. Not just fight for a living.
Most of them
They can't. Not in New Zealand. No, okay, I'm not talking about Dan and Izzy and all of them. But I'm talking about all your pro fighters in New Zealand. They're all personal trained. They have to. They're personal trained until they make it really big, until they don't have to personal train anymore. So these guys are busy. Most of them are busy personal training. They meet the new people. They walk around and help teach classes and stuff, build up relationships with people, and coach them for their fights coming up. So I've always say, don't just rely on fighting, No. What if you get injured, or what happens if you get concussed and you can't fight anymore? What have you got to fall back on? Do something else, whether it's personal training or whatever. I encourage all our guys to do that.
Logan and Amanda have got a couple of side hustles.
Of course.
Nutrition and then
upper hand.
Yeah.
They got the gym. They run the gym program and the boxing program. They're doing great.
But the thing, I train. I do about 3 sessions a day, so I'm training people for about 3 hours a day as well. And it's.
He's got 1 or 2 things coming up in the pipeline.
That you can't discuss. Or do you want to announce them now?
No.
No? Have you ever, Jay, accent, obviously you're South African.
Is it that bad?
Is it that bad? I wouldn't say bad. I'm a fan of accent. I do like an accent. Northern Irish is my favourite, without a shadow of a doubt. What made you leave South Africa and call New Zealand your home? And is there any, are you still connected with...
Yeah, I'm still connected to South Africa. My dads and mama are still back in South Africa.
Yeah.
But South Africa went through, has always gone through a bit of a hard patch and with crime and everything.
Yeah.
And I came over here in 2006. Dean Lonergan, one of your ex-rugby players, brought us over for Fight for Life.
Yeah.
One of the big Fight for Life events, because I was coaching the rugby players. And we came over, the Springbok rugby players came over to fight. They fought Twigamala and all Frank Bunce and all the guys over here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I just came here in 2006 and I fell in love with New Zealand, the place. And I just said, no man, hopefully try and live there one day, and just made a move a couple of years later. And 2009 I was here. Hey.
Yeah, I did the same, to be fair.
Yeah, just your future, you got to look after it a tiny bit. South Africa's going through a bit of a hard patch at the moment.
Yeah.
And if you're older and you're living there, it's not so bad, then... but when you're young and you want to just, start your life, you just got to look at your future a tiny bit. Yeah.
Bit of a weird one, and I thought it might be good to ask you, considering you're from South Africa, but I stumbled across this, I guess it's a conspiracy theory called the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously it's based on Nelson, because there's a group of people that think that Nelson Mandela died in prison, and that they're saying that essentially, so the Mandela effect is that we remember things differently to how they are, and that there's some form of dimensional, oh God, what am I talking about? There's some sort of dimensional shift, and that we go into alternate timelines. But you, I think, would know better than anyone else.
Well,
he survived,
I did
right?
see him after. I did see him after he got released from Robben Island.
Yeah.
So he wasn't dead, and he didn't die in jail. I did see him personally. I don't know about that much. No, he did. He was released.
Yeah.
When was it? 87 or I don't know. No, 97 or something. I don't know when he was released, but he got released from prison.
Have you not heard that?
No, I've never heard of that
Not
one,
the best
Carl.
of history.
Because there's loads of different. When
I'm normally into
sit
my
at home and watch
conspiracy
YouTube,
theories
I
and
get
stuff.
onto some.
I like
weird
my
stuff.
conspiracy theories and 9/11 and stuff, but no, I've never heard of that one.
You've never heard that
Yeah.
one? Okay. Well, maybe just me. Maybe that's my Mandela effect, is that I'm the only one that actually remembers what it is, and I've just made it up now. One question that I like to ask everybody that we bring on, and I think it sort of helps us sort of get to know them as a person. I'll start with you, Rory, is that when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
How I want to be a showman. If you go on my Instagram and you look at my history, you can see that I love the WWE, and that was my first kind of love. I don't know, sitting down with my dad or sisters and watching the wrestling at 5 years old, and watching Randy Orton come out or Jeff Hardy, and they're coming out and dancing, and then they're going in and grappling each other. It's and that's how when I come out to fights and bring all my mates to my fights and make them make noise, and I want it to be like a show, So I want to be remembered as like a showman, and someone that if you watch Rory's fights back in the day, you're entertained. Yeah.
Nice. And what about you, Jay?
It's a bit more philosophical than that. Honestly, or should I lie?
No, honest. Be honest.
A good husband,
Yeah.
a good father, and a good man.
Nice.
That's all. Nothing else.
What was the lie going to be?
Hey?
What was the lie going to be?
No, good, tough guy, and mean
Yeah.
guy. No. 20 years ago, maybe we would have answered it differently.
Yeah.
But the Greeks say on their eulogy, when you go to their funeral and stuff, they only ask one question: did he have passion?
Yeah.
And that's no matter what you do. Did he have passion?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. As long as you're good, just be good. Good to people, good to everyone. Just be good. As long as you're a good man, that's all that matters to me.
Nice.
I try to be the best man I can be every day to everyone.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it does come across, I think. I think that does come across because, like you said, when we were talking about the atmosphere in the gym, or the atmosphere in the gym, it's friendly, and you've always been very open, even to us, to Taras, to myself. So yeah, I think that does come across, and I think your eulogy will.
It's a thug sport,
well.
Carl.
It is, ain't it?
It is. I come from a different background. I come from a martial arts background, a karate background. I'm not saying we don't have respect in MMA and values and stuff, but the values that I got brought up with, more Japanese values, you know, like integrity and morals and values and principles and blah, 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 you know, and all bowing before we start, and we got to clean the mats before we train, bow, and afterwards we clean the mats afterwards. MMA gyms are a tiny bit different, you know, compared to a traditional karate gym. You got a traditional karate gym in Japan, it's, you know, it's not like an MMA gym.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more. There's a lot more. I would say respect to a certain degree, but you know, it's just it's just different. You know.
I don't think Oz likes me asking this question or these types of questions.
Ask it, yeah.
Because they're a bit stupid, but I like asking them, so I'm going to do it.
Go for it.
What is the biggest animal that you reckon you could take in a fight?
Okay, I'm going first.
Yeah, you go first.
Give me anything on 2 legs or 4 legs.
Kangaroo.
Anything, yeah, I'll take a kangaroo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't give me anything in the water.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I don't like
yeah.
sharks or crocodiles or things like that.
I hate the water.
Don't give me the water.
I hate the
I'm
water.
terrible in the water. I
What
can
if we
swim.
took
I
a
can,
shark out of the water?
Yeah, I
Do you
don't want
reckon
a
you
shark.
could beat
I'll
it?
jump on his back. I'll try to do something. I'll bite his. I'll do something. But yeah, just don't get me in the water, man.
Okay.
I was actually on Facebook yesterday, and there was a video of a guy getting eaten by a shark yesterday.
Oh,
I'm not lying. There was someone filming,
Yeah.
and he was in there, and you see him going, and you see the shark fin and the tail and everything, and it's really real, a real thing on YouTube, and it was terrible, man. Fucking, I'm just thinking, you got no chance, man.
No.
Crocodile as well, and oh man. So yeah, lions are terrible, and tigers and gorillas, but I'd rather be on land, you know?
Yeah.
I have to be honest. Just don't put me in the water. Eh?
Yeah, I'm the same.
So what about you? What animal do you reckon?
I'm the
you could-
same.
What's the biggest?
I'll just square up and just see what
Yeah,
happens
man.
to anything, man.
What about a cow?
A cow?
Yeah.
No, I'll take a cow. I'll take a
You're
cow
not?
for fun. Yeah, I'll have a cow. I was talking about a gorilla or a lion or something, man. Jeez.
See, yeah, I try to be sort of fairly realistic with it, because Mia reckons that she could Mia Motu thinks that she could beat a lion. which
Mia
is
Motu. Who's
mental.
Mia Motu?
The world champion boxer.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like
We'll cut that.
Take on a what?
A lion.
A lion.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, if you're in that situation, you just got to scrap anyway. So
Wow.
You die though, regardless of who
Oh,
you are.
yeah, you're going to die. You're not going to be a lion.
I'm
But I'd
thinking
rather go out.
like
you know?
goat, maybe.
Goat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably
It's
a
probably
sausage
the
dog for you or
biggest.
something.
Well, yeah, I'd eat it.
One of those little Weimaraner things, eh?
So you reckon a
That's-
kangaroo?
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
give the kangaroo a good go.
And then the other one that, and again, I've had like mixed feedback on this question, is how many 10-year-olds do you
My
reckon
mates
you
are
could take on
super.
at one time?
Me and my mates have had this.
You've
man.
discussed this
yeah,
before.
a lot. Yeah,
A lot.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna fire it right back at you. A question for a question.
Yeah.
What race 10-year-olds? Because
Huh?
different races are different sizes. Let me tell you something. Okay, let's not get into the race card. But I know some big 10-year-olds.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's just say
Okay, average
average
10-year-old.
height and weight 10-year-olds.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep the first one. This was spinning back first. That one back again. I'm gonna go like. Is this legal?
No.
I'm going to go like 12, 13, then I'm going to start fatiguing a tiny bit, you know, due to my age.
Yeah.
yeah, about 12, 13, because I've already got stuff that I'm going to do with the first 6 or 7 at least, you know, and scare the other 6 a bit,
Yeah.
but then I'm going to just kick them anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Then,
like that.
Yeah, it depends if they all attack me at the same
Yeah.
time. It's like 12 midgets or something, it's the same, you know.
Midgets will be stronger than
Yeah,
kids,
yeah,
though,
true,
I reckon.
True.
And have the like adult
Yeah,
mental.
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Give me
Yeah, why are you laughing?
24 10-year-olds. That's
24.
Yeah, I reckon that. That's my lucky number.
Yeah, okay.
I reckon I could.
That's
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, because one punch and they're going to
They're gonna go down.
Yeah,
man.
that's
gonna go
yeah,
down.
they're gonna cry
Boom,
as
one
well.
down, two, bop, bop, bop.
Yeah.
Why are we even having this conversation?
I don't know.
It's not legal.
No, but I mean, not everything we do in life is legal, is it? I mean, well,
Yeah.
I'd hope most of it is. I'm definitely, everything I do is very legal. But yeah, okay. Thank you very much for joining us. I think we'll end it on that note before we start getting into race and illegal stuff.
No, cheers. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Cheers, Carl.